All right, so now we are on page 531 in your math book. Okay, let's just look at question 17. What do you do to solve this problem? Well, you subtract 4 from both sides of the equation, from the left side of the equal sign and the right side of the equal sign. You end up with 3 equals y. Then you have to do your check step. Does 4 plus 3 equal 7, where you replace the y variable with the 3? Why, yes, it does. Let's look at number 19. Here you started off with a question that said d plus 3 equals 8. What do you do to solve the addition equation? You undo it by subtracting 3 from both sides. You then end up with d equals 5. Now, you will do 5, placing the d with the 5, 5 plus 3 equals 8. And yes, it does. So you have a check step there, and it supports what you have so stated. Now let's go on to question number 23. In question 23, Elliot is 63 inches tall, which is 9 inches taller than his cousin Jackson. Write and solve an addition equation to find Jackson's height. So we're going to say J equals Jackson's height. Write that down. Now your addition equation, it states that once an addition equation is going to be J plus 9 equals 63. That is an addition equation. Now, to solve an addition equation, you subtract 9 from both sides. You end up with J equals 54, so the answer is 54 inches. Now let's go down to number 25. I'm going to do 25 and 27 with you, with the fractional problems. All right, to undo an addition equation, you subtract 8/10 from both sides of the equal sign. And when you do that, you end up with t equals 1/10. Does 1/10 plus 8/10 equals 9/10? Yes, it does. Now let's go to number 27. In number 27, to solve for t, you're going to subtract 1/4 from both sides. All right, that's how you solve an addition equation, is you subtract. Line up your equal sign. T equals 2/4, but we want it in simplest form, so that will be 1/2. T equals 1/2. Check step. I'm going to use my 2/4 in the check step. Does 2/4 plus 1/4 equal 3/4? Yes, it does. Now let's go on to page 541. You may put this on pause while you go to page 541. Welcome back. Now let's look at questions number 20, and we're going to do 20 and 21. 20 is already done for you. To get rid of subtracting 1, you add 1 to both sides, line up your equal sign, 3 equals e. This is the process. How do you undo a subtraction equation? You add your constant to both sides of the equal sign. Now the check step, does 2 equal 3 minus 1? Why, yes, it does. Now let's go on to number 21. To undo subtracting 3, I'm going to add 3 to both sides. That cancels out the minus 3. Line up your equal sign. R equals 4. Circle your answer. Check step. Does 4 minus 3 equal 1? Yes, it does. Okay, later on you're going to be asked to do 22 and 24. Let's go ahead and do 23 at this time so you'll have it finished. To undo subtracting 9 and 25/100, you add 9 and 25/100 to both sides of the equal sign. You end up with t equals 14 and 70/100. Then you do the check step. Does 14 and 70/100 minus 9 and 25/100, because you replace the t with this value, equal 5 and 45/100? Yes, it does. Okay, let's look at question number 25. It says North Carolina has 12 less electoral votes than Florida. Write and solve a subtraction equation to find the number of electoral votes for Florida. Define your variable. F equals Florida. Then you have to write a subtraction equation. So my subtraction equation is right here. F minus 12 equals 15. That is your subtraction equation. Now, to undo a subtraction equation, you add 12 to both sides, and you end up with F equals 27. F equals 27 votes. Now let's go on and look at questions 28 and 29. You'll have to do 30 by yourself. In question number 28, to undo subtracting 1/2, you add 1/2. So you end up with S equals 2 over 2, which is 1. Does 1 minus 1/2 equal 1/2? Yes, it does. Let's look at number 29. To undo subtracting 1/4, you will add 1/4 to both sides of the equation to balance it. It cancels this out. Bring down the H. H equals 2/4 or 1/2. Does, I'm going to use 2/4 here when I replace the variable H. Does 2/4 minus 1/4 equal 1/4? Why, yes, it does. All right, so you're going to be asked to do the even problems on this page. So you will have to do 22, 24, 26, and 30. Now, let's go to our next page. You can put it on pause and go to the next page. Our next page is 557. All right, on page 557, we are undoing a multiplication equation. All right, so what will undo multiplying 5 to a t? That says 5 times t equals 25. Why dividing both sides by 5? And to show division, we do a bar. This is bar division. This is the way you show it in algebra. Divide by 5, divide by 5. That cancels it out. So you have t equals 25 divided by 5 is 5. Check step. Does 5 times 5 equal 25? Why, yes, it does. All right, let's go on and do question number 21. In this problem here, to undo multiplying by 3, divide by 3, divide by 3, and I will have F equals 4. Does 3 times 4 equal 12? Yes, it does. Now I would like to do number 25 with you. Here we have to undo multiplication by dividing. You're going to divide both sides by 2 and 55/100ths. You will end up with D equals, when you take this problem here, 2.55 is going to divide 17 and 85/100ths. You're going to get 7. And then you circle that. Does 2.55 times 7 equals 17 and 85/100ths? Let's find out. Put down a 5, carry a 3, 35 plus 3 is 38, carry a 3, 14 plus 3 is 17. How many numbers are behind the decimal point in the problem? There's the decimal point, 2. So the answer is 17 and 85/100ths. Yes, it does. Now let's go on and do question number 27. Here we have a family that drove 1,764 miles across the United States on their vacation. If it took a total of 28 hours, write and solve a multiplication equation to find their average speed in miles per hour. So I'm going to put x equals miles per hour. So I know that in this problem, 28 times x, 28 hours times miles per hour equals 1,764 miles. there's my multiplication equation. To solve it, now you're going to divide both sides by 28. And we show division with the bar. And you're going to end up with x equals, let's see, 1,764 divided by 28. Well, let's see, 6 times 8, carry a 4, 12, 13, 14, 16. Subtract 28 will go into 84 3 times perfectly. So the answer is 63 miles per hour. That is your answer. So let's review. Define the variable, your equation, and your answer. All right? Now let's go on, and I would like for you to do for homework tonight numbers 32 and 34. I'm going to do number 33 with you just because we don't really have enough room to solve all of these. When you do these problems, the step 1 is change to improper fraction. So step number 1, change to improper fraction. All right, so this will be 3/2 times c equals 6. Step 2, you have to multiply by the reciprocal. The reciprocal is the fraction flipped. So we're going to multiply both sides by 2/3. And you're going to end up with c equals, now simplify before you multiply. 3 divides 3 once, 3 divides 6 2 times, you end up with c equals 4. All right, now if you've already done these problems, just make sure you look through them again because there will be a problem like this on your test Wednesday and then also on your semester exam. All right, now let's go to our final page, which is 567. You may put it on pause. All right, page 567. Let's look at how to do these problems. Let's look at number 13. This says 12 equals q divided by 7. To undo a division problem, you are going to multiply both sides of the equation by what you're dividing by. In this case, you're going to do it with a, let me try to zoom in here a little bit. This way. You're going to multiply both sides by a 7. All right, so multiply by 7, multiply by 7. I sometimes will do the parentheses. And you end up with 84 equals q. Now the check step is 84 divided by 7. Is that going to give you a 12? Yes, it does. All right, now let's look at question number, let's do number 19. In number 19, multiply both sides by 12. D equals 0.25 times 12. Place value 0. You end up with 3.00. So, or 3. Let's do our check step. So if D is 3, 3 divided by 12. Add a decimal point and a 0. It'll go into that twice. 24, subtract, add another 0. 12 goes into 65 times. So yes, it does. It equals 0.25. Now let's look at the next group of questions, number 21. The directions say write and solve a division equation to solve each problem. So we're going to write a division equation here. and it says 1/3 of a bird's eggs hatched. If 2 eggs hatched, how many eggs did the bird lay? All right, so this can basically be written like this. 1/3 x equals 2. X equals eggs. Eggs laid, I guess. All right, so now another way of writing this problem would be like this. X divided by 3 equals 2. So in this problem, you'd say, oh, to get rid of your 1/3, you multiply by the reciprocal 3/1, and you end up with x equals 6. In this problem, you'd say, oh, to undo dividing by 3, you multiply both sides by 3, and you get x equals 6. Both ways will give you that answer. Let's go on now and look at number 23. In question 23, Blake is cutting a piece of rope into fourths. If each piece is 16 inches long, what is the length of the entire rope? X equals rope length. Okay, x equals the rope length. Now, this is another one into fourths. I could say 1/4 times x equals 16, or since they want a division equation, x divided by 4 equals 16. Both of these will give you the same answer. In this problem, you're going to multiply both sides by 4/1, and you'll get x equals 64 inches. And in this one, the same thing. Multiply both sides by 4, and you will get, excuse me, that equals a 16, not a 6. And you will end up with x equals 64 inches. All right. Now, your homework assignment is to do the evens on page 531, 541, 557, and 567. Have a good day. Goodbye.